and welcome to the Homemade Podcast Sports. This is your host, J Pop. And welcome to the Homemade Podcast Sports. This is your host, J Pop. And welcome back to the Homemade Podcast Sports with your host, J Pops. Guys, today's date is May 4th, 2021. Yes, we are a long way from when the spring game was. That was on last week? Week before last. As you guys can hear in the background, and please excuse that, it is raining. It said that it wasn't supposed to be any rain, but all of a sudden, man, it is raining. But nonetheless, it's a great day in the city of Houston, people. I thank you guys on the last podcast. That podcast there got about 1.3, about 1,300 reviews. Everybody had something to say about it. Apparently, I pissed off some of the T-Sip fans. You know, as we call them. I pissed some of those guys off. But then again, some of those guys did agree with it. Like I say, man, you got to take the good with the bad sometimes. Unfortunately, it's too many of the bad ones over there. All right. But anywho, man, without nonetheless, man, those guys need to hear it. Once again, excuse the rain in the background, but this is a natural podcast, people. Hey, this is the Homemade Podcast Sports with your host, J Pops. Welcome in. So the draft. Shout out to all of the Aggies who gotten drafted and all of the Aggies who still signed as an undrafted free agent. So, of course, yes, everybody knows, and everybody been giving me shit about it. It's a certain guy that follows me on Twitter for sure that gave me all crap about it. It was only 4 Aggies that was drafted. That was pretty much expected. I would have liked to see a little bit more because I felt like those guys who were on the offensive line should have went drafted, man. Most of those guys should have went drafted. All right, but that's just me, and I'm not being biased. But for Texas A&M to only have about 4 sacks or 5, including the bowl game to end the season, says a whole lot about your offensive line, man. Those guys should have been drafted, but this is what guys also have to realize. The guys that got drafted was not a part of Jimbo Fisher's recruiting class. That was none of Jimbo Fisher's recruits. Now, the positive thing about that is that Jimbo Fisher was able to develop those guys into draft picks. Maybe not high draft picks, but he was able to develop those guys into draft picks and all at the same time installing a new offense. All right, so that's the way more positive thing about it. Now, coming up with this draft in 2022, you can bet your ass it'll probably be about 7 to 8 guys drafted. Mainly defense, I know for sure, but it'll most likely be about 7 to 8 guys drafted. You can best believe that. Anybody who's thinking it's going to be under that number, well, I'm going to need you to reassess yourself, all right? And I'm going to leave it at that. The SEC in total had about like 65, I think they had said, which is freaking crazy to me, man. But that goes to show you what competition we have to face within the West, period. Alabama alone had 10, of course. LSU had about 7. I think Auburn had about like 3 or something like that. I don't believe nobody went from Mississippi State. No. I take that back. Yes, they did. I think it was about like 1 that went from Mississippi State. But all the teams that we played, man, we played an actual NFL team that was in Tuscaloosa. That's crazy as hell, man. And to have only 4 of our guys go, that's even crazier. So, like I say, man, mark my words, be looking for Texas A&M in this 2021 season. I'm looking for those guys to take the SEC West crown. But hey, like I say once again, that's just me. But also, I speak facts. You know, it's a lot of people that didn't believe me on the 9-1 season that we just had, and I told everybody we was going to go either undefeated or lose only one game. And what happened? They went 9-1. So I rest my case on it. All right. Anywho, we do have some breaking news. Some breaking news alert. Cornerback Trayvon Fuller. He was a grad transfer. He has now entered the transfer portal. Of course, you guys have heard the breaking news about Cameron Buckley. He is also entered the transfer portal. Also, defensive back Derek Tucker. He has also entered the transfer portal. That's a lot of transfer portals, right? But you have to expect transfers out after your spring games. All right, that's always going to happen. I didn't expect Cameron Buckley to transfer, but then you sit back and I told you guys about how many wide receivers we had on the damn depth chart. It was only going to happen sooner or later. All right, you guys have to be expecting those things, man. These guys will transfer if they feel like they will maybe get beat out, or they feel like they maybe will not get the playing time that they feel like they deserve. All right. But all the best of luck to them in that transfer portal. Understand this as well. The coach has the right to either welcome those guys back in with open arms, or he has the right to just pull that and go and look for a replacement. All right. So just keep that in mind, man. But like I say, man, best of luck to those guys. That's very, very unfortunate that those guys are transferring out. But hey, man, that's a part of college football. That is a part of it, all right? And I don't knock the kids at the end of the day. It's all up to them. It's their decision. And they just want to do what's best for them. So it is what it is. Anywho, guys, let's talk about the spring game that I have going in the back. So, of course, the score was 23-6. The final score in that spring game. What I said on last podcast, you know, and I know a lot of you guys have been waiting on me to get to this. Also, man, it is a change in plan. I know it sounds like I'm all over the place, but I'm really not. I'm staying on one accord. It is a change of times of when I do these podcasts, okay? Please make sure you subscribe, and please hit that reminder button. My apologies, man. I've been forgetting to tell you guys that. Please hit that reminder button, okay? So you guys will be alerted whenever these podcasts come out. But it is a new time for me. For now on, I will be out, and I know it's Tuesday today, but I will be out on Mondays and Wednesdays. Fridays, I will not do that anymore because I noticed that Friday is kind of like one of my busiest days because Friday and Saturday is when I'm really off of work. All right, so Mondays and Wednesdays is when I'll be bringing these podcasts to you guys. All right, so please, man, be looking for that. Put that in your feed. Mark that on your calendar. Mondays and Wednesdays, the Homemade Podcast Sports with your host, Jay Pops, will be on. All right. Do not forget to tell everybody. All right, and I thank you guys for that. So, the Texas A&M spring game, man. So let's talk about some things. As you guys can see, both quarterbacks were okay. Both quarterbacks had one touchdown and one interception apiece. Both quarterbacks were also, I believe, either 50% or a little bit under 50% due to the guys that they did have out there playing in that wide receiver spot. Wide receiver, of course, is the big question mark for Texas A&M going forward, and we just want to see how we're going to fix that. Keep in mind, guys, Mon Demas was not out there. It's a couple of more other guys that weren't out there as well, all right? So you guys have to keep that in mind, man. But what I did like is Jalen Preston. Jalen Preston was one of my favorite guys out here, and I'm about to talk about it. So, Texas A&M spring game sees some big plays. All right, let's talk about this. After not being able to play one last April, Texas A&M held its first maroon and white spring game in 2 years on Saturday. There were several players missing due to injuries. You guys have to keep that in mind. Whether major or minor, but there was still a lot of action. The maroon team defeated the white team 23-6, but a number of players actually suited up for both teams. The quarterback competition between Haynes King and Zach Calzada was front and center. King finished 16 out of 31 for 211 yards, one touchdown, and one interception. He had some really good throws on the day, with many of them completed by a few drops by the wide receivers. A lot of people that wants to give A&M flack because of those wide receiver drops. I understand the frustration. I do. Please trust and believe on that. And we need to get better at that. We have to get better at that playmaking ability in a wide receiver spot. Hell, we're still looking for our wide receiver one. In my mind, the wide receiver one will either be Caleb Chapman. Now that Cameron Buckley is gone, so it will either be Caleb Chapman, Jalen Preston, or Damon Dean. All right, that's going to be the wide receiver ones. All right, now wide receiver two is going to be between, in my opinion, either Jalen Preston or Caleb Chapman. The slot receiver will be Anaya Smith slash. It's always a slash in there. Man, I cannot think of his name right now. What is his name? Where is he at? He's not on here. Chase Lane. That will be the slot wide receiver. Chase Lane. Either Nye Smith or Chase Lane. All right, so let's keep on going here. However, he also had a few bad passes with a mic'd up Jimbo Fisher lighting into him on the broadcast. That's what you gotta like about Jimbo Fisher, man. It's a lot of people that love to give Jimbo Fisher grief about that wide receiver position. Hell, I even much heard somebody on Cover 3 podcast saying that guy, man, him and Barton one of my favorites, man. And that guy most of the time knows what he's talking about. And hey, he's just giving his honest opinion and what he's seen. He said that Jimbo Fisher doesn't really produce that wide receiver position. He said that he can't find a wide receiver that's out there still in the league from that Jimbo Fisher's offense. I've also heard others, even within the Aggie sports group, kind of bad from Jimbo Fisher about the offense. Oh man, that offense is outdated. Oh man, that offense is outdated. Well, the thing about is this, guys. You guys only seen that offense run through Kellen Mond. I told you guys it was raining. Excuse that thunder, man. Excuse that thunder. But you guys only seen the offense run through Kellen Mond. Kellen Mond wasn't a very explosive quarterback. Okay? He broke all the records, don't get me wrong, but Kellen Mond was never a very explosive quarterback. We have to see this offense run through somebody that Jimbo Fisher went and recruited himself with guys of Zach Calzada or either Haynes King. We have to see that go through the process. All right, Jalen Preston was one of the guys that he did recruit. All right, so he came in along as well. So we have to see Jalen Preston step up. That's why I'm very, very high on that young man. He was one of the guys that Jimbo Fisher did recruit, man. So we have to see him step up very, very big, okay? Another guy, man, I'm going to talk about these guys. Calzada had a similar day. He was one of the players who was on both teams in between the two squads. Finished 19 for 41 for 253 yards with a touchdown and one interception. The run game was not incredibly effective as the offensive line had a lot of players missing. Isaiah Spiller led the Maroon team with 25 yards while DeAndre Jackson. It's another one, man. You guys forget about this running back depth chart. Trust and believe me, if the passing game isn't clicking all the way, Jimbo Fisher relies heavily on his running game. Now, that's one thing that they didn't bring up was how many running backs that Jimbo Fisher has put in the league. Now, that's what they didn't say. Dalvin Cook is one of them. He went first round. Another guy is the guy that's on the Rams right now. He's another one. Another one is, I believe, who did he play for? I believe Devontae Freeman. Or did Devontae Freeman come from Georgia? I believe it was he either came from Georgia or Florida State. It was one of them, man. But Devontae Freeman, they don't give Devontae Freeman enough credit neither. Those guys, man, he put in the league. Wide receivers he put in the league as well. It's up to those guys when they get to the next level to evolve and keep evolving, man. I don't know why people forget that. You have to continue to evolve yourself, man. It's not on the coach when you get to the next level, man. It's up to you. You know? But anywho, guys, forget about DeAndre Jackson being on this team. I haven't forgot about it. So 25 yards while DeAndre Jackson had 32 for the white squad. Jalen Preston led the white team with 6 catches for 63 yards. That impressed me a lot. I was not looking for a 100-yard performance, but if he was going to do it, he could have done it in the spring game. That would have been fine with me. But Jalen Preston didn't have drop balls like that. I will say that. He made contested catches, and he's been doing that ever since he's pretty much like been out there. The only thing, the only knock on Jalen Preston was just his route run. He had to get better with route run. This is his senior year. He can choose if he wants to come back for another senior year now. All right. So he led the white team with 63 yards, while Devin Price is another one that guys forget. We have a lot of wide receivers, man. We have a lot of wide receivers. Devin Price is another one. I did not forget him, but I was intrigued to see him in that spring game, man. He looked damn good. Devin Price added 4 for 62 yards. The Maroon leader was Anaya Smith with 5 receptions for 115 yards and a touchdown. Once again, Anaya Smith has gotten better. Good God Almighty, he's gotten better and better and better. Be looking for that young man. They have him as a 3rd-round projection. He reminds me of Kadarius Toney. And Kadarius Toney went in the 1st round, right? I believe he went in the 1st round. He either went in the 1st or the 2nd. He's a better version of Kadarius Toney, in my opinion. Doesn't run in the same offense that Kadarius Toney ran in. That's why Kadarius Toney got looked at so much, looked at so heavily. Because of that Dan Mullen offense, which is a good offense. Jimbo Fisher's offense is a damn good one, too, when the right quarterback is behind there running it, and when he has explosive ability on the outside, and when his running backs comes and match together. That's a Jimbo Fisher's offense. You guys have to go and look at that Florida State seasons with an S, man. Y'all have to go and look at that. That is how he operates, okay? Anaya Smith had 5 receptions, 115 yards, and a touchdown. Ezekiel Jones had 5 catches for 82 yards. I did not know that young man had 82 yards. That's what I did know. That young man could have been over 100 yards if he would have made a couple more catches. That's why they counted the 9 drops. The one who had the most drops but had the most yards was Ezekiel Jones. Ezekiel Jones has to get better with his hands. That's my biggest knock on him. It isn't route running. It's catching the ball. Also, what I seen with these receivers, excuse me, guys, I'm sorry, man. My phone kind of went out. But our defense made it very, very hard as opposing to why these guys didn't catch that many balls. That's why I say for this year, for 2021, man, that defense will be on fire. They will be phenomenal, phenomenal, phenomenal. So guys have to really, really pay attention to what that defense is going to do this year. I know they are going to be good, and they're going to be off of the charts, man. Mark my words on that. But let's talk about that defense. On defense, linebacker Adrian Cooper showed why Fisher has raved about him this spring. He led the game with 9 tackles, 2.5 tackles for loss, a sack, and a quarterback hurry. Also on the white team, safety Brian Williams had 7 tackles for the Maroon squad. Safety Antonio Johnson and linebacker Aaron Hansford both finished with 5 stops. With the game only available on ESPN Network, many A&M fans weren't able to watch it. So I do understand that. So for the ones that's out there now, as you can see, you can go on YouTube. And you can also go on your own demand or whatever cable provider you have, man. They do have it on there right now. But for the most part, man, that defense looked damn good. I don't think anybody was shocked on how the way the defense was playing because that's just the defense. But our linebacker, man, Adrian Cooper, which is a freshman, by the way, he's damn good. Also, Joshua Mouton, I believe he may have tore his damn ACL or I don't think he did. I don't want to wish that on the young man. I don't think he did, but I think he hurt something to where he was in the walking boot. Like I say, once again, he's a freshman, but he's one of those up and coming talents as well. Man. Be looking for in this one here in Watermeyer nor Baylor Cup. Of course, you guys already know they did not play in this game. All right. Be looking for this Texas A&M probably to have the most draftees in Texas A&M history in the span of just 1 year. that's going to be real shocking. But look for Texas A&M to, like I say, have the most draftees in one single year. Okay, they probably will have about 3 first rounders on this team. The Marvin Leal, Kenyon Green, and it's looking like Jalen Watermeyer is already on people draft boards as a first round tight end. And I'm gonna slip another one in there, and who is Anaya Smith. If Anaya Smith has a hell of a season, be looking for him to be a steal in the first round as well. If Leon O'Neal comes on with it and he be a blockbuster safety this year, in which I know he most likely will, be looking for him to maybe be a steal in that first round. He may go late first round, just depending on his 4-year production. But if he has a monster year, man, Leon O'Neal will go first round, either first or early second. It's no doubt about that, man. So be looking for that. This is going to be a hell of a year. A lot of people has already given us a loss to Alabama, but they cannot find another loss anywhere else. I'm gonna say that once again. A lot of people are already giving us a loss to Alabama, but they can't find a loss to anybody else, man. Seriously. So just be on the lookout for that, okay? Once again, man, and excuse me for 1 minute here as I put these photos on. But once again, man, just be looking out for this 2021 season. It will be a hell of a season, people. And I'm ready. I can't be ready enough. I will be at the first game. I will say that. I'm pretty sure it'll be an 11 o'clock game. It won't be a 7 o'clock. If it's 7 o'clock, it's going to surprise the hell out of me. But it should be like an 11 o'clock game. If it's not 11, it may be like a 4 o'clock game. Or a 2 or 3 o'clock game, something like that. But, man, just be looking for that. Once again, it's the Homemade Podcast Sports with your host, Jay Pops. Please hit that subscribe button. Continue to tell a friend and tell another friend. And also, hit that bell. Hit that bing. Hit that reminder button, all right? I love all of you guys. Hashtag GiggleMaggots.
And thank you guys for tuning in to the hashtag Homemade Podcast Sports. Please, guys, subscribe to the YouTube page and also follow me on Twitter at JPops, on Instagram at JPops, and also on Facebook at hashtag Homemade Podcast Sports. Thank you guys once again. Hashtag GiggleMaggots. And thank you guys for tuning in to the hashtag Homemade Podcast Sports. Please, guys, subscribe to the YouTube page and also follow me on Twitter at JPops, on Instagram at JPops, and also on Facebook at hashtag Homemade Podcast Sports. Thank you guys once again. Hashtag GiggleMaggots.